Let's see how to make a concentric circle for our collaborative mural project. First, we will be making a concentric circle design. In the second part of this project, we will be cutting up and rearranging our circle in an abstract style like you see here. We are going to start with a template that looks like this. We will be creating our concentric circle on the back of the template, which is blank. You will have a variety of coloring supplies to choose from. You will have crayons, oil pastels, watercolors, paint sticks, colored pencils, and markers. You need to use at least 3 different art supplies and 3 different colors in your concentric circle. First, start by writing your name and class code here with pencil. Remember, this will end up becoming the back of our concentric circle we will be creating on the blank side of the paper. Next, we are going to cut out the large square on the template. Be sure to cut on the dark line only. We will be cutting the small squares later. After you cut, make sure to recycle your paper scraps. Next, you will need to flip over your paper because we will be creating our concentric circles on the back of the printed template. Notice that there is a tiny black dot in the middle of the paper. This is where you will begin your concentric circle. Now remember, you need to use at least 3 different materials in your project and at least 3 different colors. You can use more if you want, but at least 3. Think about the colors that you like and how colors look when placed together in a design. We will be filling our entire paper using concentric circles. Remember, concentric means shapes that follow each other. I am going to use a rainbow pattern for this concentric circle, but remember that you can choose any color pattern of your choice. I am drawing a small circle on top of the black dot with my first color, which is pink. I'm going to use a crayon for this, but remember, you can use any supply of your choice to begin. Your first circle should be about the size of your finger. It should not be teeny tiny like the original black dot. Also, it shouldn't be too big because we need to leave room for all of our other concentric circles. After your first circle, you need to decide what color goes next in your pattern and what material you're going to use for it. I'm going to use watercolors for my next circle, which will be red. When you are painting, you should wake up the color you want to use by adding water to it and gently swirl your brush around in the paint. We never want to smash our brush and give it a bad hair day. When you're painting, you should use the tip of your brush to paint and go slowly to create a smooth line. After you finish using a color, be sure to rinse your brush in the water cup to clean it. Next, I'm going to use paint sticks for my next circle, which will be orange. But remember, you can choose any supplies of your choice. You do not have to go in the same order as me. If you used watercolors for your last circle, be careful not to smudge the wet paint. You may need to wait a minute or 2 until the watercolor has had time to absorb the paper to use your next supply. Now I'm going to use a marker for my yellow circle. Notice how there is no empty space between my circles. They are almost overlapping. Each circle should touch each other, so make sure not to leave space between them. Next, I'm going to use a green oil pastel for my next circle. When you're drawing with a supply, make sure that your circle is at least the width of your finger. Like this line here is too thin, so I need to color around this circle a few times to make it thicker. Now that the green circle is the right size, I can move on to the next color. I'm going to speed up my video, but remember that you should not rush through your work and take your time to make it look your very best. Here I'm using a red colored pencil. Since colored pencil is really thin, I need to go around the circle many times like I did with the green oil pastel to make my circle the right size. I've reached the edge of my paper with my yellow circle here, but that does not mean that I am finished. We are going to fill our entire square with color. Once you reach the edge of your paper, you will need to continue filling the corners with color too. Here, with the green paint stick, I'm going to draw my line and pretend that my circle continues off the paper. You can pretend to hop over to the area where there is no paper and continue your color on the other side. I'm going over my green here a few more times with the paint stick to make it look a little bit brighter. Now I have room for a few more colors. I will need to do the same thing here. Pretend to hop over the area where there is no paper to complete my circles and bring the colors all the way to each corner. Alright, so it looks like I'm all finished with my concentric circle because my paper is completely filled with color. Remember that you need to use at least 3 colors and at least 3 different art supplies to create your concentric circle. Also, don't forget that each circle should be about the width of your finger and not super skinny. Also, don't forget to check for your name and class code on the back of your paper. I cannot wait to see how yours turns out.